Few things test a parent's patience quite like watching a bright, capable teenager spend 4 hours staring at a blank laptop screen, endlessly scrolling on their phone, or waiting until 11 p.m. to start a major project due the next morning. You see their raw potential. You know what they're capable of achieving, and it breaks your heart to watch them sabotage their own success through endless delay. When a teenager avoids an important task until the last possible minute, our natural instinct is to assume they just don't care, lack discipline, or are simply being lazy. But chronic procrastination in adolescence is almost never a character flaw or a lack of ambition. It is an emotional coping mechanism. For a teenager, procrastination is a primitive biological self-defense system triggered when the perceived threat of failure, perfectionism, or evaluation overwhelms their developing nervous system. Today, we're going to decode the psychological machinery behind adolescent task avoidance, and I'm going to give you a practical executive functioning blueprint to help them break through paralysis, build genuine momentum, and take ownership of their own goals. Before we break down the exact neurobiology behind chronic task avoidance, take 2 seconds right now to hit that subscribe button. Every single week, we translate the complex science of the adolescent mind into practical, actionable strategies you can test in your home right away. Joining this community ensures you'll never miss a framework designed to protect your family connection and help your teen build real-world resilience. Now let's step directly into the familiar, high-friction scenario where this procrastination loop plays out every single week. Think about what happens in your house on a typical Sunday evening. You've known about their major history paper all weekend. You asked them on Friday if they had homework, and they gave you a dismissive, "I've got it under control." You checked in again on Saturday, and they assured you they were working on it in their room. But as the clock ticks past 9 p.m. on Sunday night, the truth comes spilling out. You walk past their bedroom and catch them sitting on the floor, staring at an empty document with a single typed sentence, surrounded by half-eaten snacks, open textbooks, and their phone glowing in their hand. Panic has finally set in, and within seconds, the room explodes. They slam the laptop shut, collapse onto their bed, and yell, "It's impossible. The teacher is insane. I don't know what to write, and there's no point in even trying." You stand in the doorway, caught between sheer exhaustion and mounting anger, replaying the last 48 hours in your mind. You wonder why they put themselves through this psychological torture every single week, and why they wait until the house is quiet and the deadline is looming to finally admit they're stuck. When our teenagers put off important assignments, ignore daily chores, or freeze in the face of big deadlines, it is extremely easy to interpret that inaction as a moral failing. We look at the hours wasted on video games, social media, or sleeping, and we label them as lazy, irresponsible, or hopelessly unmotivated. Viewing procrastination as laziness triggers a predictable parental panic. We worry that if we don't step in with lectures, micromanagement, or heavy consequences right now, they will fail out of school, lose future opportunities, and turn into adults who can't hold down a job. What looks like laziness is almost always emotional dysregulation, disguised as avoidance. Procrastination is not a problem with time management. It is a problem with emotion management. During adolescence, the brain's emotional threat center is hyper-reactive to perceived failure, judgment, and the terrifying fear of not measuring up. When faced with a complex task, their developing prefrontal cortex calculates the potential risk of failure. and their brain treats that assignment like a threat to their self-worth. Evasion, whether through doom scrolling, tidying their room, or playing games, is simply a quick, emergency escape hatch their brain uses to alleviate immediate emotional discomfort. To help them build real internal momentum, we first have to eliminate the 4 subtle habits that accidentally worsen their task paralysis. 1. The nag and rescue cycle. Checking in on their progress every 30 minutes feels like helpful oversight to an anxious parent, but to a struggling teenager, it feels like constant surveillance. When we micromanage the timeline and then step in to finish the project for them when time runs out, we prevent them from experiencing the natural discomfort that builds true executive stamina. 2. The perfectionism pressure trap. When our praise and attention are heavily focused on high grades, top scores, or flawless outcomes, we accidentally teach them that their value is tied directly to flawless performance. To an anxious teen, an unstarted project carries zero risk of immediate failure. Procrastination becomes a subconscious shield against proving they might not be as smart as everyone thinks. 3. The overwhelm interrogation. When we see them frozen in front of a project and launch into a high-speed interrogation, "Why haven't you started? What's your outline? How many pages do you have left?" We add extra cognitive weight to a brain that is already at maximum capacity. The added pressure causes their prefrontal cortex to lock up entirely. 4. The shame-based lecture. Using shame as a motivator. Saying things like, "You're wasting your talent," or "Why can't you just manage your time like your classmates?" floods their system with cortisol. Shame never inspires action. It drives deeper withdrawal. A teenager who feels fundamentally inadequate will choose the immediate comfort of distraction every single time. To help your teen move past avoidance and into action, you can replace lectures and micromanagement with a practical, low-pressure executive functioning framework. Step 1. Separate the emotion from the task. Before addressing the assignment itself, help them identify and name the emotional barrier holding them back. Keep your voice calm. Step into their space without hovering, and use a validating entry script. "I can see your brain is totally overloaded by this project right now." That makes complete sense. Staring at a blank page is exhausting. You don't have to finish the whole paper tonight. Let's just take the pressure off. Step 2. Shrink the entry barrier. The 5-minute micro start. Procrastination thrives on massive, vague expectations. Teach them to bypass the brain's threat detection system by making the initial requirement impossibly small. Let's put a timer on for 5 minutes. All you have to do is open a document, title the top of the page, and write 3 terrible sentences. Once the timer rings, if you want to stop, you can stop. No pressure. Step 3. Externalize the plan, scaffolding without controlling. An adolescent mind struggles with complex working memory and executive planning. Instead of telling them what to do, act as a neutral sounding board so they can externalize the steps. What's one tiny piece of this that we can break off first? Do you need to grab a drink, find your notes, or write the first paragraph? You tell me what sounds easiest, and I'll back you up. Why does lowering the initial barrier work so much better than warnings, threats, or schedule enforcement? It comes down to basic cognitive load and the brain's threat response. When a task feels massive, ambiguous, or high stakes, The brain registers it as an emotional threat, pulling blood flow away from the prefrontal cortex, the exact region needed for focus, organization, and problem solving. Asking a teenager to just concentrate while in that overwhelmed state is like asking a computer to run heavy rendering software while the cooling fan is failing. The system simply freezes to prevent overheating. When you lower the stakes, validate the difficulty, and focus exclusively on a tiny 5-minute micro start, you deactivate that biological alarm system. By shrinking the entry barrier, you lower the cognitive friction required to take action. As soon as they take that tiny first step, dopamine is released in the brain, creating a natural shift from passive anxiety to active momentum. Once the initial paralysis breaks and their logical centers come back online, their internal capacity to sustain focus and complete the work naturally takes over. It takes immense parental discipline to step back from controlling the outcome and focus instead on supporting the process. Your teenager's procrastination is not a sign that they are destined for failure, nor is it proof that you have failed to teach them responsibility. It is simply the messy, necessary practice ground where their brain learns how to navigate discomfort, handle overwhelming tasks, and build genuine executive control. Your job isn't to carry their anxiety, do their work, or rescue them from every late deadline. Your job is to be the one steady, non-judgmental consultant in their life who shows them how to break a mountain down into manageable stones. When you replace shame with strategy and pressure with partnership, home stops being a battleground over deadlines and becomes the place where they discover their own capability. Next week, we are turning our attention to the invisible pressure cooker of modern adolescence. What happens when your teenager isn't avoiding work out of distraction, but is quietly breaking down under the relentless weight of perfectionism, social comparison, and high expectations? What do you do when a kid who seems to have it all together on the outside is secretly carrying a level of anxiety that threatens to crash their entire system? In our next video, we are breaking down the hidden epidemic in quiet homes. If your teen is a secret perfectionist, they're carrying this hidden danger. We are going to explore how high achievement can mask deep emotional distress, the subtle signs that your child's high standards have turned toxic, and the essential strategies you need to help them trade perfection for true, lasting self-worth. I'll see you there.